Hey everybody, NicMakesPlays here. Today I'm going to go over Teemo Sejuani. It's a deck that's rised a lot in popularity recently. Not only is it really good, it's also extremely fun. So let's get into it. Alright, so at first you might be thinking, like, why do Teemo and Sejuani go together? What's the synergy? But actually a lot of synergy. So Teemo, as we all know, Nexus Strike, plant 5 poison puff caps from cards in the enemy deck, if you guys don't know what that is. They basically puts mushrooms in your opponent's deck, they draw them, they take a damage for each mushroom they draw. And Sejuani, her level up condition, is when you damage the enemy Nexus in 5 different rounds. A lot of decks use Sejuani just for her level up form, or her level 1 form, this form. Because she's just a removal, like you play her, you Frostbite and you remove it with the vulnerable, but this deck actually utilizes her leveled up form more than any deck I've seen. Each round, the first time you damage enemy Nexus, Frostbite all enemies, so basically, you easily level her up, getting the puff caps in the deck, doing damage with other things we'll get into, and then when they draw the mushroom each turn, it freezes their entire field. And every turn, it just freezes their entire field. It's super hard to deal with, and this deck's a blast. So, yeah, that's the synergy between Teemo and Sejuani specifically. But let's get into the deck list. So, 3 Thermogenic Beam. This card's really good, just generic removal to get rid of all kinds of things. Real quick, I guess I'll go out of order for a second. The spells are all really important because every spell can be Starlit Seer. When you cast a spell, grant the top ally in your deck +1/+1, as well as Puffcap Peddler. Puffcap Peddler is insane in this deck. Absolutely insane. When you cast a spell, plant 3 poison Puffcaps and ribbon cards in your deck. That you use so many spells in this deck that you can just get so many Puffcaps to your opponent's deck, and it makes each spell more than just what it does. Like Thermal Beam removing a creature, Thermal Beam removing a creature, and potentially giving +1/+1 on the top ally of your deck, and potentially playing 3 poison puff caps in the enemy deck. A lot of puff caps in your deck for all kinds of things. But yeah, 3 Thermogenic Beam, 3 Elixir of Iron. This card is this is generic removal, and then Elixir of Iron is really good for protecting Teemo, protecting the puff cap peddler, protecting the Starlit Seer, what have you. But 1 mana is very cheap to activate a spell for the Starlit Seer and the puff cap peddler, and it's really good for protecting Teemo. Something you can do with this deck is, let's say you open Teemo, right? And you're attacking on second. If you play Teemo on turn 1, they could potentially play Thermogenic Beam on him, or Parlay, or Go Hard, or something, depending on the matchups. But if you wait, because you're attacking on 2, and play him on turn 2, on turn 1 you bank mana for Elixir of Iron, and then they try and use, like, Thermal Beam or Mystic Shot or whatever on Teemo on turn 2, you have the mana bank for Elixir of Iron. Or if you played him on turn 1, then they could have Thermal Beamed him. So that's just a cool little play. Is if you're playing Teemo on turn 2, you can take turn 1 to bank the mana for Elixir of Iron. Yeah, protecting Teemo is pretty important. The next card is a new card. This card is insane. This is what has put this deck on the radar. It was already a deck that was decent before, but at this point with Ballistic Bot is what kind of made it shoot up in popularity. So, round start, create Ignition in hand. Ignition. 1 mana slow spell, deal 1 to enemy Nexus. Okay, so this triggers your Puffcap Peddlers, triggers your Starlit Seers, but most importantly, or I guess they're all pretty important, but one of the most important things is it easily levels up Sejuani. You've damaged the enemy Nexus in 5 different rounds. This card makes it so easy to do all kinds of things. It's like basically exactly what the deck needed. And as a bonus, it has Augment. You play a created card, grant you +1/+0. This is a created card, so every time you play one of these, it gets stronger, so it becomes a 3/3 extremely easily, which is a 2 mana 3/3 that's doing all kinds of stuff for your deck. So this card is what put this deck on the map. Again, I guess one other thing that's cool with it is you can use it as discard fodder for Get Excited later in the game. So you get the thing every turn, and it gives you an easy Get Excited. That's part of the reason why I run Get Excited, but also like the reach. But anyways, Mystic Shot, generic. You can go face at the end of the game for lethal, or you can just use it as a removal spell in the early games. Starlit Seer we talked about. Buffs your cards to pretty absurd amounts. Troll Chant. Okay, Troll Chant is just one of the strongest cards like in the game. It's up there. It's a very, very strong card. Any deck that can utilize Troll Chant with good value is amazing, because a lot of decks are in Freyord, but they can't really use Troll Chant amazing. Or just it's not a lot of decks that can use Troll Chant in general. It's like Ash decks, but this card is super strong. Give an ally +0/+2 to give an enemy -2/-0 round, 2 mana spell. So basically a common scenario, and if you do this, you just like win basically. But you have Starlit Seer in the field, turn 2. Turn 3, you play Puffcap Peddler, and they're like, oh, well, he's doing all kinds of things. He's like about to start getting all these spells going and buffing his units, putting Puffcap in my deck. I need to be aggressive and try to beat him before he gets stacked, before he gets too carried away with these effects. They try and attack, and then you just have Troll Chant, and then you just block with both your guys. You Troll Chant giving one of your guys +0/+2, so once it's trade, you -2, -0, so the other one's it's trade, and then you just have it to where your Starlet Seer and your Puffcat Peddler clear both their units, both your guys live, and you get their effects, the Starlet Seer and the Puffcat Peddler, of the mushrooms and the +1/+1, and then they're just so far behind tempo, and you're still stacking these effects. It's a big deal. It's very strong. Next we have Get Excited. To play, discard 1, deal 3 to anything. This is really good because you can use it as removal. It's free with Ballistic Bot if you discard the Ignition, and you can use it to go face them in the game. I like this card a lot. People don't play this in this deck, I think, but my experience, this card has been phenomenal, and I just think it's just good in this deck. So being able to burst for like 6 damage with 2 of these at the end of the game is insane to me, and as well as a deal 3 to anything, 3 mana for free if you discard the Ignition is insane. Our next card, new card, Hexcore Foundry. This is a big card in this deck. At first, I wasn't totally sold on this card because your opponent, I think people underestimate how good it is for your opponent to draw cards too. Like using three of your unit mana because you can't use spell mana for landmarks, and your opponent also draws cards. That really helps them out a lot. But it grew on me, and a lot of the Teemo Sejuani players were saying how phenomenal it was. So 3 Hexcore Foundry. Basically, the point of this card is it gives you fuel, of course, as well as your opponent. But you get Puffcat Peddler going, and you put a bunch of Puffcaps in their deck, as well as Teemo going, especially with the level up Teemo. When he strikes, double the Puffcaps in the deck, and then basically every turn your opponent's drawing so many Puffcaps, and it just puts on huge damage. Basically, you want to get to a game state where it doesn't matter how many cards your opponent has. Like they have so many mushrooms in their deck that the extra draw doesn't matter because they're just dying off mushrooms. You have Sejuani they can't deal with. You have a board they can't deal with. You have like kill spells they can't deal with at the end of the game to finish them. So it's like you have Hexcore Foundry, and certain states, yeah, it may help them a lot, but you want to get to a point where it doesn't even matter what they draw. Like no matter what they draw, it's too late. They're drawing infinite Puffcaps a turn. They can try and beat your field. They can attempt, but you're drawing extra cards to stop them, and they're gonna die the Puffcaps anyway. So this basically is just like a Puffcap generator. It doesn't generate, you know what I mean. You play it so they draw the Puffcaps. So yeah, very good. 2 Aftershock. You can play 3. I switch between 2 and 3 all the time. But deal 3 to anything or destroy a landmark. So basically, it's just used to deal with the Grand Plaza. If you're playing a lot of Grand Plaza players, you can add a 3rd one. It's a very popular deck right now. There's Scouts, Lucian Hecarim, Targon Demacia. Grand Plaza is one of the best cards right now in the game. So this deals with it, as well as being able to be generic removal, as well as being able to go Nexus for lethal and end the game. So a lot of ways to burst damage is nice. So this card is really versatile. I mean, it does cost more than Grand Plaza than usually whatever you kill. That's why it's fair and it's slow speed, but very good at dealing with all kinds of threats, especially Grand Plaza. All right, next, 3 Chump Wump. Needs no introduction, but an amazing card since release. Used to be a 4/4, but now he's a 4/3. Still amazing. Just shows how good he is. But when I'm summoned, create 2 Mushroom Clouds in hand. So 4 mana 4/3. That adds 2 of this card to your hand. Plant 5 Puffcaps in enemy deck. You get 2. So you use this with Puffcat Peddler, and then they're each planting 8 because they can cast a spell. So it gives you spells to use. Gives you discard fodder for Get Excited if you want to use it that way. Overall, just one of the main ways to get huge amount of Puffcaps in the deck, along with Puffcat Peddler. 2 Harsh Winds. Frostbite to enemies. This is really good to stay alive. It's basically extremely hard to play around. This, like later in the game, especially when you have Hexcore Foundry, your opponent's like, oh, I've drawn so many new cards, I can try and beat him because I have access to someone in my deck, and I can pop off this turn. You just have Harsh Winds and stop them in their tracks. You could run 3 in certain metas. I'm not sure. This card's just really strong. Whenever I have it, I feel so safe. I feel like they can't do anything to beat me. It's bricky in the early game, but it's good later. It's also really good versus Lee Sin because it makes Lee Sin's Dragon Rage do 0 damage. So very strong if you're playing a lot of Lee Sin players. And then last, but not least, Sejuani. Yeah, you can use her for removal, and she also can damage enemies with the Frostbite Vulnerable and Overwhelm to level herself up. But she levels up extremely easily in this deck, and you pretty much just utilize each round the first time damage of a Nexus Frostbite enemies, triggered by Shrooms. So this can't be beat. They can't beat it. They just can't. I've had so many times where I play against this deck, and I'm like, oh, I'll beat this. I'm so familiar against this deck. And then they get a leveled Sedge early, and I'm like, I actually have no answers to this. It's so hard to beat. A lot of decks, again, can't use this leveled up form the way this deck can, but this deck really just shows how good this leveled up form is. All right, and then real quick, I guess I'll go into cards that you could play. A third Aftershock, I think could be good. Maybe a 3rd Harsh Wind in certain metas, but I think a 3rd Aftershock would be good. So there's a few different things. I'll make this really brief. Brittle Steel is a good generic 1 mana freeze. Rummage to draw cards. But there's some big ones. Those are like okay, a lot of people run Iterative Improvement. I think it's so extra. I don't play it. Pick a follower, create a copy of Enhance +1/+1. It could be good. But there's other big ones. Veteran Investigator. If you want to go all out with the memes, all the fun. This is actually not a meme deck. It's actually a really strong deck. Played in like Master Line at the highest rank. But if you want to go more of a puff cap variant, I guess, like when I'm summoned, all players draw 1. This is basically a Hexmore Foundry unit. If you have a lot of puff caps in the deck, they draw the puff caps and helps you refuel. The downside is they also get to draw a card to play against you, but a lot of people play this card. So that's important. Flash Freeze could be like a one-of Frostbite enemy. Playing a lot of aggro. Like I know lower ranks have a lot of aggro, not as much in higher ranks, but let's say you're playing a lot of like Draven Jinx or Power Burn or something. Even in higher aggro, maybe, or higher ranks, maybe. That's just like what you're playing against that day. 3 Kind Tavern Keeper. This card is extremely hard to beat for aggro. Trust me, I play a lot of aggro. 3 mana, 3/3. It's good stats. Heal just 3. That's an insane amount for like just to heal like that. So you can run actually 3 Kind Tavern Keeper. I run 3 sometimes. So it's just generically good in general. But yeah, run 3 of those. Let's make this quick. Static Shock can remove things. Deal 1 to the Nexus, or deal 1. You deal the Nexus or to units, and then you draw a card. And then there's a few more options. One I'm excited to tell you guys about real quick. That's why I'm hyped. People don't really play anymore. Okay. So people don't play anymore if they used to. This is a cool option. It's a lot of fun. All right. Plunder, I transform to Stormclaw Ursine. Stormclaw Ursine's a 5 mana 6/6. Overwhelm all other allies with 5+ power. Overwhelm. So basically, the puff cap, it triggers the Plunder, and then you have your other units buffed by Starlit Seer, and then y'all get overwhelmed and you just win. This is what old versions of the deck used to play. It's still a cool option though, so I wanted to show you guys it. I guess if there are any other options for the deck, it would be some people run Field of Rush. As funny as it is, it's really expensive without ramping, but I mean, summon 2 different random champions for your deck. Raise stats to 10/10. You get 10/10 Sejuani at the Overwhelm with her effect, which is broken, and 10/10 Teemo Elusive. Yeah, really strong. So this card is played in some variants. Tusk could be played. Plunder, double the power and health of allies in the deck. Draw Sejuani. Could be good because like the Plunder is from the mushrooms, but most people play this. So yeah, that's the deck. All right, let's play some games. Ooh, this could be tough. This could be tough. Shen Fiora. I think I'm gonna keep Thermo Beam for Fiora. So basically, this deck you always want to mulligan for on turn 1 Teemo, turn 2 Starlit Seer Ballistic Bot. The most important is turn 2 Starlit Seer Ballistic Bot because you can't always get Teemo turn 1. You only run 3, but you run 3 copies of Starlit Seer and 3 copies of Ballistic Bot. So you want to mull pretty hard for those. To at least hit your 2-drop because you need those to like start playing. Not the greatest hand. We have Teemo turn 1 though. That's good. So he shouldn't be able to stop us on turn 1. Obviously no Thermo Beam or anything. He's not playing PNZ, no Parlay, just Fiora Shen deck. Later it'd be hard to get the sinks. He has Sharp Sight. But for now, we're good to go. We might even get one more attack in with it. That could be good to protect it against like single combat and stuff. Send here, get another attack in. Ooh, we drew Ballistic Bot. Nice. So we're going to attack right away in case he has Fiora with Sharp Sight. I don't want to play this and give him a chance to do that. Okay, Shen Fiora don't normally play Grand Plaza, so this is very unorthodox. But we need to play this because this is how we all get going here. This is very uncharacteristic. This could be good with like River Shaper and Shen and stuff though. Just to give him attack and challenger. Yeah, this could be scary. It's something this where I wish I was running 3 Aftershock. I feel like I probably will put a 3rd Aftershock. Maybe I'll cut an Elixir of Iron. Because we do have the 3 Charles Jan anyway. But yeah, Aftershock would be really good here. We have a lot of good stuff going though. All kinds of spells. Like you see how potent it would be if we had Puff Cat Peddler or Starlit Seer, right? Because we have like infinite spells. Okay. Well, we're definitely activating this no matter what, so let's just get that out of the way. We can save our like Troll Chants, Elixirs, Mystic Shots, leave men open for when he actually attacks. Okay, so I actually want to kill this like now. Before he gets the quick attack. I don't want to have the quick attack. Okay, so no Sharp Sight unless he's holding it, or Riposte unless he's holding it. Tell us some info. Okay, she's willing to land. Alright, no reason to do anything yet. Maybe we don't have to play our Mystic Shot until he attacks or anything. See, this is a good Troll Chant. Here we can give this the defense so it lives, and then minus the offense, this lives as well. And then we also leave mana open for Elixir of Iron and Mystic Shot in case things go awry. I'm led to believe he doesn't have Sharp Sight because he didn't do it to protect his Young Witch, but I don't know if he would or not. He still might have it. Don't want to completely roll it out. If I Mystic Shot here, or Thermo Beam here, then I get to attack with this, which adds more damage. I think Mystic Shotting here is good, but I don't think Thermo is good because I want to save Thermo Beam for Fiora. This also limits the threat of him actually drawing Sharp Sight if he doesn't have it, or playing if he does have it. Oh, he was saving it. Sneaky. Okay, so he was saving it for when I attacked. Alright, good thing I did Mystic Shot. He was saving it for when I attacked. He wanted to catch me off guard and kill Teemo. Ooh, now we're talking. Alright, so I'm going to be greedy and attack with both. This could easily push good damage, but if he plays Riposte, it's pretty bad. We'll attack with just Teemo. Okay, assuming he doesn't have a second Sharp Sight, we should be good. If he plays single combat, we have Elixir of Iron. Alright, cool. So, level up Teemo. It's good. This deck runs a lot of spells, so I want to imagine he would run out of, it's not good. I want to imagine he would run out of, units at some point to keep dealing with them. So I want to play this before I play Ignition, but I'm going to Thermo Beam this turn. We have to kill Fiora before she attacks. Fiora's the only thing I'm really afraid of. Alright, so we already got rid of a Sharp Sight, and he didn't use Sharp Sight because, obviously, he can't Nova Fox, it's 4 mana, so this should kill Fiora. He played this now for some reason, so it doesn't get challenging. Nice, nice. So, that's really good, because we're leveling up Sejuani. Oh, we're already at 5 out of 5 on turn 6! I didn't even realize we're already at 5 out of 5 on turn 6. Jeez, this deck is strong. Oh my gosh. We're gonna play this here. Wow. That's actually so strong. I don't know how he's gonna deal with it. I don't think he can. And we have Elixir for protection too. That's so insane. I think his hand's messed up. We're playing around his spells pretty well. We keep removing all of his units. And now what do I do? Let's put some Puff Caps in his deck, so when Teemo attacks, that it doubles the Puff Caps, but we're going to put so many more in the deck. We're going to activate Ignition too to get the Puff Cap Peddler. So these are all adding 8 in the deck. 5 from the actual Cloud, and then 3 from the Puff Cap Peddler. And then this is adding 3 in his deck also. So 33 Puff Caps, going to plus 3 more, it's 36. Attack, if it goes through, it's 72 Puff Caps in his deck. We have a level up. This thing's been leveled up. I mean, protection for our cards. Is he trying to, like, scare me or something? He has single combat? I actually don't know what that was. It's kind of weird. Okay. So it takes 3 damage here. We have the Sejuani online. We have Ignition, Silencer. I mean, this is just a blowout. Get the defense here, lower that. You don't really want to block with the Peddler, just because he's too important. What the? These are both too important. You want to keep them back if you can. Like, we don't care. We don't even care if we take much damage at all. We'll put Teemo here with extra health. Okay. So not really a point of, Elixir of Iron into that anyway. Oh, that didn't matter either though. Yeah, so we want to save these for like more important things. Okay, let's start getting the buffs. It's kind of interesting that we haven't actually played Sejuani yet. We'll play her next turn, offensively. I wonder what he's thinking about. Does he have like Relentless Pursuit or something? If so, we have Elixir of Iron. Okay, so we're getting the Puff Caps, we're getting the buff. He might surrender here, but I want to at least get the Sejuani level animation first, so hopefully he lets us do it. It's cool looking. 75 puff caps. Imagine if Teemo Lib could double it again. I actually think he's debating surrendering, but I can't tell. Okay. Okay, so we'll do this here. Get Sejuani's level up. He might surrender now. This is so hard to beat. Like, I can just freeze his cards whenever I want. Like right now, I can ignition and just freeze his whole field if I wanted to. Something cool you can do. I was gonna say something cool you can do is you can attack with this first and then freeze his whole field, which I still could have done. I don't know why I chose not to. I guess I'm playing it safe in case we somehow don't damage that. Okay, let's get the overwhelm damage in here, because that puts him at 1. And he's gonna have 77 pup caps out of 27 cards, so this should pretty much be game. Okay. Part of me just wants to use this now to max out. We're gonna harsh move next turn. Let's just get the pup caps in this deck. This might be wrong, but it doesn't matter. So 80 pup caps. He needs to draw 1. Is he gonna surrender or is he gonna play it out? And if he draws it, it freezes his whole field. Now 11-2. Yep, dead. And then Sejuani freezes the field. Yeah. Good stuff, good stuff. The Winter's Claw triumphs. Alright, we're playing against Zoe Acel. This is considered by most people the best deck in the game right now. So this will be a pretty hawk day match, hopefully. So we have Ballistic Bot. We want to mull for Teemo or Puffcat Peddler. But this is this in Starlet's here the best thing you want. You want to always try and go to get something on turn 2. Like as I said last game, you only have 3 Teemo, but you have a lot of 2-drops to see. And we have time to get the Puffcat Peddler. But yeah, Teemo, a 2-drop, and a Puffcat Peddler is like the dream opening. Didn't get it. And we have to deal with Zoe right now, which is unfortunate considering we don't Thermal Beam either to kill her on turn 1, so she at least gets value already at the super cool star chart. And if we do try and kill her with Mystic Shot, then we're using a 2-mana card for a 1-mana card, but you gotta do what you gotta do. This would be an interesting game. I'm not sure what he's gonna do here. If he plays this, he's kind of trolling because it tells us he's not pale. I'm not gonna attack for 1 here. As much as I want to get the Sejuani proc, if he is pale, we're gonna get blown out. I think I'm just gonna play it safe. Could be wrong, but to me it feels right. Right. Even through pale, this would kill the Zoe. So that's good. Alright. He's slightly ahead on mana and just in general. Because of, us, like we didn't have a turn 1, we didn't have the Teemo. And we had to use Mystic Shot on Zoe, using 2 mana for 1 mana card. Okay. It's fine. So we have no idea what he got, but maybe he'll show us. Maybe he got a dog right here to draw. Okay. It's fine. No puff caps yet. Don't really mind the dog here at all. Here I don't mind open attacking, because if he pales, he won't draw, and then we have like Elixir of Iron to protect our guy. Okay. That damage matters a lot. There's not a burn deck, but I mean we have obviously ways to reach his Nexus, and the damage adds up pretty fast. They can heal a lot off of Slayer Sunforger, Radiant Guardian, Star Shaping, etc., but that was a pretty safe attack, and I don't mind him losing his dog at all. Here we're going to get Puffcat Peddler in the field and start getting the mushrooms going to try and level up Sejuani quicker. We already have Ignition level up Sejuani, but just getting the mushrooms in the deck is good, and it fits our mana this turn as well. So we want to make sure that we get on the field as early as possible if we're using Ignition this turn. Playing Chump Up this turn instead of Puffcat Peddler is not good because then we're missing out 3 mushrooms we would have gotten with this Ignition. So that's why we play Puffcat Peddler over Chump Bump, just to get the 3 extra Puffcaps right away. Okay, so he has 3 or lower Inbuck in his hand. That's good for Grand Plaza if he plays it. Slayer Sunforger. Here we'll play Chump Bump. He's gonna heal 5, but we'll block with it. At least we get a trade. I mean, we're seeing 4. Healing 4 is pretty big, but maybe we'll be fine. He's playing aggressively. That's not really something you see too often. I see why he's doing it though. He wants us to block with this, which is great for him. But I don't think we'll bite. I guess we'll just have to take the 5 damage directly. I mean, he probably thinks we're stupid or something, which he's not entirely wrong. But he definitely wants us to block like this. But I'm just going to take the 5 damage. No big deal. No reason to play this now because he's going to heal it back. Alright, well, I'll definitely block this one, though. He's just really going aggro. Maybe he's afraid of us getting our stuff going, like I mentioned in the deck guide. Sometimes they're just scared that, like, you're going to get your Puffcap Peddler going and stuff, and they can't come back. So we saved our Ignition to do after, so he didn't heal it back. Let's do this right away. This is good. And this is only nice stuff for the turn. Still healing 4 like that, because we didn't have... We were at 6... He's at 16. It was pretty brutal, but it's okay. Oh, wow. Now we're talking. Alright, so as you can see this deck, we don't really be too aggressive here. We don't really attack. Like, I don't try and trade this, because Blissey Bots to us is way more important than this is to him. Which is crazy, because this is only a 2-drop. Granted, he did get lifesteal. That's fine. So the card I'm afraid of here is, like, single combat. He gets single combat with this, but he's not healing the max amount. I care more about the puff caps than anything right now. Let's see if he has single combat. So he used both his invokes. The super cool star chart was this. This got Crescent Strike. So he's out of cards to invoke, which means all these cards are main decked. Definitely play the puff caps here. Just get it going. Alright. 31 puff caps. Let's see how high we can go. Was he holding single combat to play on Troll Chant? I don't have Troll Chant, luckily. I have Elixir instead, so I'm not really afraid of anything. This gives me some comfort. I just need to draw Sejuani. Sejuani's already leveled up, too. Wow, she leveled up this turn. So turn 7 level up. Pretty good. Pretty good for Sejuani. Turn 7 level up's amazing. Do the Ignition here. This is pretty big. We do have to address this. I'm not entirely sure how. I would prefer not to get rid of my Ballistic, but... Okay, so he's passing, so we lose a bunch of mana. Oh, he's thinking... Okay, so he's going to play Ace next turn. He's like, oh, I'll just win off Aurelion Soul. Which does make sense. Kind of scared of this. I don't want to lose too much mana. I really don't want to lose too much mana. This is such a weird pass. Like, I want to take the pass because this is so good for us, and I'm afraid if I do something, he'll attack. But if I waste too much mana, I think I won't be able to finish him. He also has Star Shaping, but using the spells also allows us to get the Puff Caps in his deck, which is great. Maybe I keep it simple and I just Mystic Shot. Yeah, just get a Mystic Shot in there. See what happens. The earlier I put the Puff Caps in, the more time he draws them before he could draw like maybe an extra Star Shaping or something. And that's good. We only lose 2 mana here, not like a huge deal. He's definitely going to play Aurelion Soul. I feel like the fact that he's being so passive right now... Wow, that was a lot of damage. Jeez. How much can we do this turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can do all these, right? 3, 3. That's 6 mana. 10. 11. We have exact mana for all that. Do I go for it? Let's go for it. Alright, so if he plays Aurelion Soul this turn, that means he's tapped on a mana for Star Shaping. Star Shaping healing 5, that's what I'm afraid of. He has no idea we even run Get Excited. A lot of people don't run Get Excited in this deck, so he's probably not thinking, oh, this guy's just going to burst for, like, infinite damage, but I am going to burst for infinite damage, if he plays Aurelion Soul. He could play it safe. Like, I think his plan was to play Aurelion Soul, but he was afraid, and maybe he's... Okay, so now he's leaving up mana for Star Shaping, which is not exactly what I wanted. I could play Starlit Seer now. I did Ignition before I played anything else, just to be, because I want to go Ignition, Get Excited, and Aftershock. I didn't want to know, like, what we had, like, how potent our hand was. But if I played this, I couldn't do Get Excited, Aftershock. I couldn't use all these. I don't really care about the buffs anymore, so let's just do this. Let's see if he has Star Shaping. I don't think the buffs are too important. It's not a big deal. I really care about these Puff Caps. These 44 Puff Caps. Okay. Now what? I want him to tap under Star Shaping, so I know he can't heal for 5. He's leaving it up. Do I discard my whole hand and commit? He'll heal to 5. He might draw. Dude, he has to have Star Stream where he's bluffing it. Even if he heals to 5, he can still just win with the Puff Caps. I'm gonna keep Harsh Winds. Harsh Winds shuts off his attack and it's a spell for these guys. Let's go for it. If he doesn't start shooting, we win. If he does, we still are fine. Okay, he doesn't have it. He's bluffing it. Good stuff, dude. Good stuff. Leaving him at, what is it? The final? 62 Puff Caps. 62 Puff Caps. Alright, GG's, man. GG's. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, this deck's a blast. So this deck is super fun. It has a huge ride in popularity because the freezing, like the Harsh Winds, can deal with Lee Sin. Aftershock can deal with Grand Plaza. You can run more Aftershock and more Harsh Winds based on what you're playing against. Maybe even Flash Freeze if you're playing a lot of Lee Sin. But yeah, this deck's really good. It's one of the most fun decks in the game. It's potent. It can do well in Master Ladder. And I stream every day, so you can follow me on Twitch. I live stream there at twitch.tv/NicMakesPlays. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe and comment below your thoughts. I'm going to try to have a lot more deck guides out. You also can comment and let me know what exactly videos you guys want. I like making deck guides and best ranked decks and champion tier lists and stuff like that. But yeah, this video is amazing, so yeah, feel free to support the stream. I stream every day. But support the stream or YouTube however you want. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.